Let us continue with the topic. Now we will discuss about Ujjwal Discom Assurance Yojana, famously called as UDAY. Now what is the main objective of this UDAY? Now the main objective is to improve the operational and financial efficiencies of state-owned Discom companies. Right now I crux down this point. Now its main objective is to increase, right, or improve operational and financial efficiencies, right, financial efficiencies increase of state owned discom companies. Now this is an optional yojana. States can opt it or might not opt it. Now the states who opt this uday yojana, if they don't meet the targets, now the required the amount what the said in the yojana will not be granted to the states. Now under this scheme, state will be required to take over 75% of the discom debt, 75% of the discom debt over 2 years, right? 50% in the first year and 25% in the second year. 75% of the discom debt has to be take over by, right, in 2 years. 50% in the first year and 25% in the second year. This is the policy framing regarding uday, right? Now the next one what we will discuss about is renewable energy policy. Renewable energy policy. Now this REP, what is this renewable energy policy? Now government of India have decided to take down all the renewable energy sources under a single umbrella, which is called as integrated energy policy or your renewable energy policy. Now it gives you a roadmap on how to energy supply options and how to exploit this renewable energy sources, right? Now see here, it gives you a roadmap regarding energy supply options, how to supply the produced energy, right? Energy supply options. Done. Now observe here again, they have given a targets in order to reach the production levels, right? Now it has been made for a capacity of addition of about 30,000 megawatts power during the 12th plan period from various renewable energy sources. Now it fixed a target of to achieve 30,000 megawatt electricity generation through renewable energy sources, and it was given in 12th planning commission, right, which was started in 1217. Now see here, this renewable energy policy have been discarded after the formation of Niti Aayog, right? Now next one, under this renewable energy policy we will see some missions taken up by the government of India. The first one is National Solar Mission. Now what this National Solar Mission says, right? Now government of India already have said that fixed targets for each and every energy sources in order to reach the production targets. Now see here how to increase this solar energy production. Now see here, for this government have started an initiative called payment security for the manufacturers, right? Now see here, if you produce your solar energy, if there is nobody to take over to to take over your solar energy, then that will be a huge loss to the company. So government have started a initiative called payment security to the companies who manufacture, right? And the government will buy out this solar power energy, right? And also the solar power energy has to be increased at high quantum rate, right? And all the next one, under this national solar mission, government have started a program called solar park scheme. Now already we have seen this land scarcity is a major disadvantage for this solar production. We have discussed this. Now under this solar park scheme, now this is a draft, it was not still given a nod by the government of India, right? Now under the solar power scheme, government want to increase the infrastructure levels for the given solar energy companies, right, to provide all the needs. And also they have started a point called competitive advantage for the projects, right, in order to gain more profit under this production, right? Now Solar Energy Corporation of India is assisting this solar park scheme, SECI, Solar Energy Corporation of India, SECI, is looking over this solar park scheme. And also we have discussed about biomass and cogeneration policy in biomass production, right, in order to increase robust cultivation of this biodiesel plants, which is nothing but Jatropha. And also you have to give payment security for this cultivation, right, by giving minimum support price. Already we have discussed this. Now encouraging people to cultivate more Jatropha plants is also one more initiative under biomass cogeneration. Now under this national solar mission, government have decided to scale up this solar power projects, I mean solar power generation, right? So see here, government want to incentivize for a plant who is producing more than 100 megawatts of solar energy, more than 100 megawatts of solar energy, and also to increase rooftops solar projects, right? Now see here, these might be look very easy, but these are the points that are given in the examination. You have to focus on this, right? Now already we have discussed about national wind mission and offshore policy in detail. What is the key points there? Strengthening of your infrastructure is the main key point there, right? This is the key point, right? You have to provide the needs of the companies in order to increase the production, right? And apart from this renewable energy policy, government have started one more policy called new energy policy. Now what is this new energy policy? Can anyone? This new energy policy aims to meet the announcements of the government, right? If government announced something, it has to meet the target, right? Now what are the objectives in this new energy policy? One is access at affordable price, access at affordable price of your produced power, right? Now the next key objective is improved energy security, energy security. I'm writing down the pointer. These are the main objectives. The third one is sustainability, means you have to sustain the growth. In the first year if you generate 100 megawatts, in the next year if you suddenly stop it, then automatically the sustainable levels will be decreased, right? Now the next one, see here, energy security, and automatically this leads to payment security, economic growth. Done. Now this is the new energy policy that government wants to induct, right? Now this new energy policy is nothing but the next phase of renewable energy policy. In the place of IEP, integrated energy policy, government wants to start new energy policy. Right now, next we will discuss about the energy organizations, now which is very important for your examinations. Right now, with the first organization what we will deal is International Energy Agency. International Energy Agency. Now, what is this International Energy Agency? Now, this International Energy Agency is headquartered in Paris, and it is an autonomous organization, right, which looks upon your framework and also economic cooperation and development in power generating sector in order to make energy sufficient. Right now, when this International Energy Agency was started, now this International Energy Agency was started during the 1973 oil crisis. Right, when, see here, your fossil fuel crisis happened in 1973, as the OPEC nations have decreased the production of oil. Now automatically your energy generation has been decreased. Now this led to the start of this organization. Right now, this International Energy Agency help as a policy maker, right, on how to get your sustainability, economic growth, right, and your energy security. All these policies have been made by this International Energy Agency. Right now, this is very famous one. It was started after 1973 oil crisis in the year 1974. Now the next very important one, the Energy and Resources Institute, TERI. And I'll write down the full form. Energy and Resources Institute. Right now, see here, after this 1973 oil crisis, formation of International Energy Agency, now each and every country have started their own organization for sustainable development of energy and power generation. Right now, this TERI is started by Government of India and is a think tank in order to frame policies and also see how the energy security happens. Right, and also looks upon the research and development of the organization. Right, it was started in 1974. Right now, what are the focus areas of this TERI, Energy and Resources Institute? One is clean energy production with less emissions. Right now, the other one, pollution. Clean energy means the secondary thing is pollution management, water management, sustainability, and climate resilience. All comes under this clean energy. Right now, see here, this is the main focus. Now, under this, some activities happen. Right now, the first activity what happens is World Sustainable Development Summit. I'll write down the full form. World Sustainable Development Summit. Now, what is this World Sustainable Development Summit? WSDS. Now, see here, this is a summit which helps you in order to have a knowledge share, right, and exchange of knowledge regarding this energy development. Now, this summit happens there, knowledge share. Now, the next one is lighting a billion lives. Lighting a billion lives. Now all the summits, these are important, right? Lighting a billion lives, which is nothing but LABL. LABL. BL. Now, what is the initiative of this lighting a billion lives? It is nothing but providing clean lighting access for the bottom pyramid communities, right? I mean the downtrodden communities. Clean light access, lighting access for bottom pyramid communities. I'll write down the, like your East African countries, right, where there is reach of power very less, right? Now one more very important one, which is called Green Olympiad. Now in India many regions are there where there is no light access, right? Now Green Olympiad, now this Green Olympiad is conducted along with the help of Ministry of Environment and Forest, MOFE. Now this is an examination in order to know the level of energy efficiency, how they are, how much the people know about the energy security and how to save power, and also the effects on biodiversity for which class? High school students. Now, this is an examination. The next very important one is, I'll discuss in the next slide. Now see here, we will discuss in sustainable habit norms in detail, right? Green rating for integrated habitat, GRIHA. Green rating for integrated habitat. Now the full form of GRIHA, Green Rating Integrated Habitat, is GRIHA, GRIHA. Now see here, this green rating for integrated habitat assessment, right? We have missed out this word, assessment, is an initiative started by TERI and also Ministry of New and Renewable Sources, renewable energy sources. Now this is nothing but giving ratings to the buildings which follows green sources, green power, rating to buildings, green rating, right? Now this is a national rating system, so you have to focus on this national rating system for the buildings who use green sources of power, right? The next one what we will discuss is National Solar Energy Federation of India. National Solar Energy Federation of India. National Solar Energy Federation of India. Now the full form is this, NSEFI is the short form. Now what is this? Now this is an umbrella organization representing all your solar energy companies active along the country, right? Now see here, their main focus is to promote solar energy and also in order to produce this photovoltaic cells in an affordable way, because now this production of photovoltaic cells is very high, right? And also it helps you to see the interest of the stakeholders, I mean the companies who produce this photovoltaic cells. by conducting some conclaves and also some solar energy summits in order to know the business opportunities in this solar power generation. Right now, see here, let us discuss about the now this National Solar Energy Federation of India is started in 2013. Now after this, let us discuss about the institutes under Ministry of New and Renewable Energy. In this we have discussed about Solar Energy Corporation of India previously in renewable energy policy, and the next organization which is under MNRE is, no, these are under MNRE, National Institute of Solar Energy. National Institute of Solar Energy. Right. Now this is headquartered at Gurgaon, or you call it as Gurgram. Right now, this is an apex body for R&D, research and development of solar energy in India. Now already we have discussed about National Institute of Wind Energy in the previous video, which is located in Chennai, which looks about the wind energy solutions and also increase the efficiency of wind energy in the country. Right, and the next one what we have to discuss is Sardar Swan Singh National Institute of Bioenergy. Now this is very important. We have never discussed Sardar Swan Singh. National Institute of Bioenergy. Now what is this institute? Now this is an autonomous institution, and it is for the development of the organizations which are into bioenergy production. Now the main objective is to look after the R&D, research and development, right, and focusing on testing new methods in biodiesels and biofuel production. Right. Now this is the main aim of this Sardar Swan Singh National Institute of Bioenergy. Now the next one, Indian Renewable Energy Development Agency. Right. There are two more organizations what we have to discuss. This is, I'll write down the things. These are very important. Right. Indian Renewable Energy, I'll write it as RE, Renewable Energy Development Agency. Right. The next one is Agency for Non-Conventional Energy and Rural Technology. Energy and Rural Technology. Which is called ANERT. Now these are the two organizations under MNRE which looks upon the renewable energy sources. Now what are the aims of this agency? Let us first discuss about this Indian Renewable Energy Development Agency. Now see here, this Indian Renewable Development Agency, till now the agencies what we have discussed is about research and development, training, but this agency will help you in financial assistance for the companies who are interested in production of renewable energies, right? Likewise your biomass, wind energy, solar power, right, tidal energies, right, and also it helps you to train you in energy efficiency, energy efficiency, right? Now see here, already we have discussed about the financial support and financial assistance. Now what about this agency for non-conventional energy and rural technology? Now see here, this is established in 1986 by government of Kerala in order to function their power department, right? Now this is also an organization which helps you for research and development and knowledge share in various non-conventional and renewable energy sources, right? Knowledge share and R&D purposes. Now what are the main initiatives of this, major initiatives of this agency for non-conventional energy and rural technology? Now bioenergy program, wind energy program, solar energy program, solar photovoltaic programs, rural technology programs, right? National program and improved chulha. Now this is very important under this. The remaining things everybody know it. National program and chulha, how to produce bioenergy from chulha. National program on improved chulha, right? Now this is the thing. Now the last one what we have to discuss in this MNRE is Bureau of Energy Efficiency. BUREAU, Bureau of Energy Efficiency. Now the shorter form is BEE. Now what this BEE says? Now this was set up in 2002 under the provisions of Energy Conservation Act 2001. Now what this BEE says? Now see, this organization provides you the framework and policies in regarding to the market principles and self-regulation of the power sector, right? See here, I'll write down the points here. Now this will give you the framework regarding the regulation of power generation and market principles of power tariffs, I mean selling policies of your power generated, and the overall framework of Energy Conservation Act, right? And see here, this market policies will help you to know the impact on Indian economy, right? How power sector affects the Indian economy, right? So this is the main thing. Now the next one what we will discuss is the next concept, management of energy, right? Now this is a crisp concept. I will explain in detail about this. Management of energy. Now what is this management of energy and what it is upon? Now this management of energy will help you to know how the society is affected due to this power shortages, energy shortages, and how to develop the alternate sources of energy, right? And how to improve the efficiency of power generation and conservation of energy. Now see here how this will explain you the conservation of energy, right? it explains you about the improving efficiency, right? Improving efficiency in power generation and usage, right? And development of alternate sources. Now, for meeting of this above, conservation, improving efficiency and alternate sources, what have to be done? Now, this is what we have explained previously in the videos, by creating missions, policies, and how to conserve, how to generate, right? Now, how to generate and how to regulate the markets of this power generation, we have discussed this. Now, making sound arrangements for meeting this energy crisis, developing alternate sources, implementing conservation plans, and how to consume and how to produce these sources is nothing but your energy management, right? Management of your energy. Now, what are the policies that are made under this? Now see here, we have discussed about the Bureau of Energy Efficiency that was made under Energy Conservation Act 2001. Now under this, you are asked to recruit energy managers. Now what this energy managers says, right? And what is this? Now this energy managers have to identify energy leaks and rectify a large number of such energy leaks, right? Now see here, they are responsible to reduce the power theft and power loss, right? And the next term what you frequently observe this energy management is energy auditors. Now this energy managers will have to report to energy auditors about this power loss. Now the process of scientific study, observation and scrutiny of this energy consumption, utilization is nothing but called energy auditing, and the one who does this energy auditing are called energy auditors, right? Now the process of scientific study regarding this conservation, improving efficiency is nothing but energy auditing, right? I'll write down the crux point here. Done. Now the next one what we will deal is future sources of energy. Now till now we have discussed the renewable and non-renewable. Now let us discuss about the future sources of energy. Now already we have discussed about tidal energy, ocean energy, right? And also the process how to churn out this ocean energy. Now the first one what we will discuss is hydrogen is your future source of energy. Now this is hydrogen is very cheap and effective fuel, and this is better than methane, and it has high energy content, right? It does not produce any pollutant except water vapor, right? Now see here, this hydrogen usage as fuel is adopted as eco-friendly fuel with near zero emissions, right? Now these are the advantages of this hydrogen. Now the next one, now see here one more important point, this hydrogen has high octane rating. Now which of the following has high octane ratings? Your answer is hydrogen. Now what are the disadvantages of this hydrogen? Now see, the storage of hydrogen is nothing but very hectic task because of its low density. Because of low density, the storage of hydrogen is an Herculean task. Now the next one, alcohol as the future source of energy, right? Now see here, what are the sources of alcohol? Ethanol or ethyl alcohol. Now I'll write down the full form. C2H5OH is nothing but your ethanol. ETHNOL. Ol is alcohol. right? Or your methyl alcohol is considered as one more future source of oil, right? Or you call it as methanol, NOL. Now this ethyl alcohol is produced by fermentation of carbohydrates. Now same likewise your molasses process, right? Your breweries will generate this ethyl alcohol, right? Fermentation, right? Now this methyl alcohol or methanol is also called as carbinol, carbinol or wood alcohol, as it is produced from hardwood. This is called wood alcohol. Now this ethanol and methanol are used as common solvents for the manufacture of formaldehyde. They are used as solvents for the manufacture of formaldehyde, and also they are used as antifreezes. Apart from this power generation purpose. Now see here, this methanol produces very small quantity of gaseous carbon. Now these will be helping to reducing the ozone depletion, because they doesn't reduce carbon more, right? Now see here, it has low calorific value as compared to gasoline, right? And what are the next one? See here, already we have discussed about this fuel cells. We have discussed about this fuel cells. Now what is this fuel cells? The device which energy of a chemical reaction is converted into electricity is called fuel cell. Now chemical energy, the device which converts chemical energy to electricity is nothing but your fuel cell. Already we have discussed about this fuel cells, right? Now see here, I'll discuss in the next slide. Now a fuel and an oxidant is continuously supplied to the fuel cell, right? This is supplied to the fuel cell. Now see, as long as the fuel and oxidant were supplied to it, now this is the main reason for the production of your energy. Fuel and oxidant leads to production of energy, and this energy can be stored in batteries also. And now what are the advantages of this? Now this cells can be given different types of shapes and sizes as per the requirement for the consumer. One more advantage, low carbon emissions, right? Now, and also in terms of conversion of fuel to power, the fuel cells are more efficient, right? See here, the conversion of fuel to energy, the efficiency is more in this, right? Now how to increase the efficacy, right? Now one more important concept that you have to use, that is frequently used here, how to increase the efficiency and efficacy and utilization of energy. Construction of zero energy buildings, right? This is the term that you have to learn, zero energy buildings. This is the term that they are frequently used, right? ZEB. Now what is this ZEB? Now ZEB is a term used or applied to a building with a net energy consumption of 0 over a year. Net energy consumption. Net energy consumption is 0 over a year. Now this is the term used for a building where net energy consumption is 0 over a year, right? Now this type of building construction has been more increased in the urban areas, right? And See here, and the remaining things we have discussed in detail regarding that in their energy sources only. Now focus on this. This was the question asked in 2017 UPSC prelims. Zero energy buildings. Right. Thank you.